Hey, this is Jared Cochran with Family Church. Welcome to our podcast. I'm excited that you're here. I hope that God moves through this message to reach you so he can move through your life. Be sure to share and subscribe so that we can reach the world with God's word. Enjoy the message.
Welcome back to the family room, I gotta get comfortable. The first family room of 2025.
I already messed it up.
Here we go. What? Oh. Whoa. We'll start it over. We'll be back. Now, let us know where you're watching from. We've already got the comments and stuff going. We will be posting the discussion questions
will be in the
tonight in the chat to give you guys time to answer. A lot of big things going on with the end of the year. We now officially, we already bought it, but we have full possession or whatever you want to call it of the land. Obviously, the farmer's still out there until we go to build. Hopefully, within the next few years, we're waiting on some logistical stuff, obviously, and as well as provision, but waiting on the county and everything to get some stuff going on out there before we go down. But let us know where you're watching from. If you had a favorite, there's something on my iPad. If you had a favorite quote from Sunday, just drop it in the chat. Also, if you want the Pursue, Proclaim, and Prepare hoodie, it is on our store. You go to familychurch.social, and in the top right, there should be the button that says store, and it'll take you there, and you can find what?
My favorite quote is when you told everybody that you're going to throw your watch at me.
Well, because usually, I don't know, it like starts
I'm gonna throw it at my
around
wife.
and I get sweaty, and then I can't stand it.
That's a good look.
I always toss it at you.
I'm going to throw it at my wife.
The ones who know.
That's good.
Julie, you better pull over. So let us know. Do you want me to do the announcements, or you want to do the announcements, dear?
Whatever floats your boat.
I don't even have
world.
a boat,
I'm just
so nothing can float it. The men's group, the next men's group is on January 18th.
You want to say what that's going to be about?
I've already forgotten, so don't throw me under that bus.
Okay, hold on.
I was not prepared.
Sorry.
While she's looking that up, Rock the Universe. The youth are going to Rock the Universe on January 25th. Our next blood drive is January 26th. That's obviously immediately after church. That's always a big deal. I know that they save a lot of lives from the blood that our members donate, which is always great. Also, this Sunday, right, is our team meeting? Yeah, so this Sunday after church, if you are a volunteer on a team, we do have a team meeting directly following church. And then we have a volunteer brunch on February 1st. I think, what's that, after church? I don't know what the first is.
I'm not really listening to you, sorry.
That's great. So yeah,
I can't really
I'm not going to dive into.
I can't find the text that he said, but I know we sent him that video.
Oh, the biblical masculinity. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Something on biblical masculinity. Yeah, there we go. Now I remember.
I was trying to find what he exactly texted because he said something super specific.
Yeah,
I can't find it. I see where he texted me saying Bamboo Betty, but
a date, so that was not on my mind. You were. So, yeah, we are here to watch. We're here to discuss Sunday's sermon, which was really exciting for me to finally bring the vision.
Are we going right into this?
To the house. Yeah, what's up?
Okay, all right.
You not ready?
No, I got to.
First question, go.
Oh, my God. Hold on. Jeez.
No, we're here to discuss Sunday's message, the vision, which was based off of the parable of the sower. Good Lord, where is my head today? The parable of the lost sheep.
We're going
from Luke 15. Wow.
So sermon discussion went really well.
Yes.
My group, that's my bad. We meet on Mondays, and I decided, I thought it was going to be Tuesdays, and had a panic attack Tuesday night. Not a real one, but I realized that I missed it, and I'm sorry about that. And we ended up doing it Tuesday at 7:30, and it was really, really good.
That was a lot of fun.
Not everybody jumped in, but that's totally okay. That's the reason why we have an app, so people can go back and look. So it will be next Monday at 7:30. We do have Zoom options. You're doing Zoom?
Yeah, but I'm waiting for. I have nobody in my group.
Well,
Nobody. They get enough of me on this and Sunday mornings.
sorry.
No, Jason's in there, and he asked me. He's like, "So how's this gonna work?" I was like, "I'm gonna wait until there's like more than just me and you."
Yeah. So you're doing it on Thursdays.
Thursdays.
And then Mitch and Amanda are doing theirs on Tuesdays, I think, but they're going to move theirs because of the small group, like 8-week sessions are going to be starting on Tuesdays coming up in February.
Okay.
February 11th will be, your mom does have the women's one, but I don't think she told me yet.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it.
But your dad's has been picked if you are interested in doing the men's 8-week small group that they do every spring, and then you do another one in the fall.
That's what it is. The No More Excuses. That's the study he's starting in February.
No More Excuses. It's really, really good. I'm kind of a little jealous about it it's really good. And so that'll be 8 weeks starting February 11th. That'll end April 1st, which is funny. It'll end April 1st, and we do have the registration online, I believe, on the website, and the links for the books and everything should be on social media and the website. It's Amazon and Lifeway. But that'll be starting February 11th, so definitely get on that. Your dad is leading that one. Why did I bring that up? What was I saying before that?
That's the only thing you've said.
No, before that.
The small groups that are starting up on Tuesdays.
Yeah. So Mitch and Amanda have to move theirs because they were doing it on Tuesday. So they're also doing a Zoom one, and then Brooke's doing one, and she's got a couple people in hers, and hers is just like mine, where it's just discussion.
Yeah.
And it was cool. So you can just basically, I send the key takeaways. We go into discussion, and it's kind of just like a ping pong. We just bounce the answers off of each other, and then a couple other things. You have scripture in there, then you have things to take the sermon into real life. What's it called? The
application.
Yeah, the application, and move it into real life and apply it on a day-to-day basis. And then we close out in prayer, and it's really good. I think it was like 30 minutes.
Something like that. It was right around 30.
So it doesn't take a lot of time.
Track of the time.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of time, just depending on who's in your group. Like our group has some pretty talkative people, so it went on a little bit longer. But definitely, I want to encourage people to check out one of those groups. We have plenty. There's
as well as the other groups, just the groups in general on the
app. I'm maxed out. I'm at 10 people. I'm not taking any more. Our deal is to only have 10 people per group, and then we add on to the other groups because we want it to be a very small group. Everybody can trust each other. You're not going to talk when you've got 25 people you don't know.
Yeah.
That's the problem we're having in the young adults app, is everybody's dead silent because nobody wants to look dumb saying anything like that. So definitely check that out. You can sign up in the groups on the website and pick what date and time works for you, if you want to do it on Zoom, or if you just want to do it on the app. You have that option.
Yeah, it's a great thing. I'm excited to watch that grow throughout the year. Yeah, Jennifer's in here. She was in there. It was a good time.
Hi, Jennifer.
So yeah, I'm excited to see that. If you're not a part of the groups, again, I actually added it online to where if you go to our group off of our website, if you go under the groups, now there's a button there where you can actually access the actual group messaging,
which was
from your computer, which was nice.
Super nice this time, because I can type much faster on the keyboard than I can do on my phone. So I was much, it was much quicker for me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So it was great. So yeah, Sunday's message was bringing the new vision for the house, which wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Our new identity moving forward, our new purpose, which is to pursue, proclaim, and prepare. We pursue God, we pursue the lost, we proclaim His word until everyone has heard, and we prepare people for eternity, and we prepare the way for the Lord. I used obviously the leaving the 99 and going after the one from Luke. And then the life verse, if you will, of the church is Luke 19:10, which is, "For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost." Because obviously that was Jesus' main purpose in coming. That should be the church's main purpose in life and in operation and in ministry. And it's something my heart is really burdened for and really burning for. And I hope that comes across in my passion and my messages, because there's so much with just churches that they're so content with just showing up on Sunday and going through the motions and going through the routines. And, we're going to sing 3 songs, and then you're going to get a sermon that's 3 points in a poem, 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes. And then we go home and nobody's life has changed. Nobody's doing anything. Nobody's really talking to their friends outside of church. You're not inviting anyone. So it's really trying to break that American culture where it's just the thing to do to go to church, and truly grasp the reality of, time is running out. There's people dying every day going to hell. We need to do something about that. We're called and commanded to do something about that.
It's not only, I'm not trying to challenge your focus at all whatsoever, but I'm just saying, you say all the time, time's running out, and you're talking about death and hell and where you're going to go. There's also a lot more to it than that being your main focus. I'm not trying to say that, but it's people need to understand, we're not trying to get you to do this because let me rephrase that. We're not trying to do this because we want you in heaven. No, but that's not the only reason. There's so many more benefits that come with it.
That's
than
the only
just
true
where
way to live.
You're gonna go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can be. We're all gonna go through stuff. You're either gonna go through stuff and issues and trials with the joy of the Lord, or you're gonna go through it really, PO'd and grumpy and not having a great time. Either way, you're gonna go through some stuff. I mean, that's life. So you're either going to go through it with a different concept and different heart view and a different mindset, and that's going to overflow into other people, or you're going to go through it really miserably. So there's more benefits to it than hey, where are you going to go?
I don't always say, but I think I've said it before when I first started preaching that, life is hard either way, either side, godly or ungodly, but it's better on one side. You get to kind of choose your level of hard. And there's different levels of hard, but the devil doesn't have to really attack what's already his. And it's easy to live for the world. It's easy to live in the world. It's easy to go chase your dreams and chase after your career. But the reality is we're all supposed to be chasing after God. That's the only real way to live. That's what we were created to do, to dwell with Him, to reign with Him, to rule with Him, to have dominion over the earth with Him. And, since the fall, just all of that kind of got wrecked. And now you have that veil over everyone's eyes because of the state of sin, because of sin permeating everything. And it's just, we're all sick, we're all broken and have a sinful nature, and it's just thank God literally for Him reconciling the world to Himself and offering His Son as the gift for a debt that we could never pay and we could never do anything to attain. That's what's the beauty of the gift. So there's only one true way to live, and that's by following Jesus. And that's our whole desire with reaching the lost, and obviously to bring them home, and to bring them home so they end up in heaven in eternity instead of the alternative. But the other side of it is, like you said, there's just so much of a better way to live than what the majority of the world is already doing.
Did you want to answer that first question, or are you done?
What was it? How does the idea of Jesus as the divine sinner drawing people to Him challenge our understanding of evangelism and outreach? So, as I opened up when we got into the text, it says that all the tax collectors and the sinners were all drawing near to Jesus. And, we see all throughout the Gospels that that's the reputation that he had, is that he associated with these people. He wasn't accepting of their lifestyles. He was accepting of them as a person, not their sin. That's where a lot of people need to realize that. Just because, and the Pharisees, they didn't grasp that. They thought that him sitting there and eating with them was him accepting their sin and him becoming, breaking the law and becoming unclean and impure and defiled. And that wasn't the case. He was just trying to show him his grace, his love, and it was drawing them in because they were already, it's like the thing with the rich man and the poor man where it's, what's up?
Nothing.
Where you have, the poor, they have nothing. They have nothing to offer. They have nothing to get. They just don't really have anything. So when Jesus came, it was that breath of fresh air that this is what's always been missing. This is what's missing. This is what we're supposed to do. And then you had the Pharisees and the hyper-religious people that they had everything. They had all of this status. They had all of this stuff and honor and positions and power. And it's that, like the camel going through the needle eye, where they just don't realize that they're just as lost as the tax collector and the sinner and the thieves and all that. They're still sinful. They just didn't realize it. So Jesus, being obviously the center of creation, naturally it drew those people in. But I think it challenges mainly in America, I don't think this is much of an issue elsewhere, but in America it's a problem because we're so worried about keeping people comfortable, making people comfortable, and we're so focused on, don't offend anyone, don't say the wrong thing, don't bring up, they always say don't bring up Jesus or politics, religion or politics, because everybody just gets their underwear in a wad, and it's just we don't want to chase after people because, I'm scared of what if I lose my job, what if I do this, what if I get censored, what if I get canceled, what if this happens, what if that happens, and we stop inviting anyone to church, we stop evangelizing, we stop sharing the gospel simply because we're afraid of the opinion of man, so we quit doing it. And then, like I said, we somehow churches have gone silent, and we think, oh yeah, we'll just, we'll keep preaching here and then the lost will come. Well, why should they come? What are you doing that shows them, as they're driving by, they know it's a church, what are we doing as a church, as the body of Christ, to actively go out and reach people?
I want to insert something right there because that just
Boof.
Yeah, besides, I do want to say whatever we... we had someone said something recently about made a comment about us having the food truck. We, just like every single church, they put on events for fellowship and a really easy, fun way for you to invite people that would probably balk at coming on Sunday and get them into an environment where they go, okay, this isn't that bad. You know what I mean? We never do things because we just want publicity. You know what I'm trying to say? We never do those because we just want attention. We just want people to fill the seats. But just like every other church, you have to do things. That's why all churches do events. Yes, fellowship of the already active members, and to have something, that's why people do fall festivals, or harvest festivals or whatever. That's why people do those type of things, why churches do those type of things, is because it's a non-threatening way to bring people onto the grounds where they can fellowship. You can talk to them. We're so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. That's why we do these things. And then the food trucks. I really, and I know you do, and your parents do and everything, we love to reach out and help out other people and businesses. And, there's a lot of these food trucks that are full of super talented, chefs and barbecuers or whatever. They're very talented, and this is how they make ends meet for their family. They believe in their small business, and we want to believe in them too. We want to have the opportunity to offer them a free place, because a lot of these food trucks, most of them have to pay a fee to go sit somewhere, and they're not guaranteed to make enough money to even meet the fee or at least go a little bit past the fee. So it's like we want to offer them a free space to park. They've always allowed to stay as long as they want on Sunday. They can stay till 10 o'clock at night. A lot of them, thanks to you guys, they sell out, and they don't have to stay even past 1 o'clock. They can come at 11 and sell out before 1.
Yeah.
And to me, that makes my heart feel good because, we're not just, we're helping out other people.
Yeah.
And that's, kind of the reason why we talked with Melissa, and Melissa's starting doing that summer camp expo, thing. A lot of her places she has to go. We haven't talked about Melissa a lot, but she has the Jacksonville Connections business in Jacksonville, and she approached us and said, would you guys be willing to host a couple of events? And we talked about it with your parents, and I thought it was a great idea. We're not making her pay anything, but like the stuff that she wants to do, she does free events for kids, and like the one coming up, the summer expo, summer camp expo, it's just for kids. It is a all vendors come, sell their homemade craft, whatever it is, but it's just helping out the community. It's never a way for us to benefit, because we're really not benefiting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just felt like I needed to say that, because I don't want to get the wrong impression, even though we really shouldn't have to explain it. But
No.
I just, that's where our heart is with this, is we just want to help everybody out,
We're just trying to do what the church should be doing. The church should already be involved in the community.
Like, if y'all haven't seen Sister Act,
it should be involved in helping the community, giving back to the community. And I mean, what easier way than simply, and like Erica said a minute ago, you're engaging the community and sharing a meal with them. Mm-hmm. Like, you see Jesus do so much over meals. And so you just literally invite a small business and a food truck to come. I mean, churches do all kinds of stuff.
Charging them and stuff to benefit, but that's not. We never ask
there to help
for
out
anything.
The business.
Like Saucy, the guy Saucy, he's so sweet. Like he'll try to, give us stuff, but we end up just paying in tips. But he. He's so sweet with that, but that's where our heart is. So if we're putting on these events, it's always going to be free for, the people coming in, because it'll bless us where it needs to be blessed.
Yeah.
So,
and it's all about, they're in an aspect. Oh, you're just trying to do anything to get people in the building. Well, of course, we're trying to reach the lost. We're trying to reach anyone and everyone. Duh. That should be what every church is doing. There should be no complaint among anyone unless they're in an unbiblical and unrighteous mindset of grumbling and complaining, which is basically going into question number 2. In what ways might we be acting like modern day Pharisees, grumbling about who comes to church instead of rejoicing over the lost be found?
Well, you said it Sunday. You're like, someone smells bad, someone's outfit's weird, somebody, I hate, Carolyn told Riley the other day, because Riley's like, I hate this, I hate that. Carolyn told Riley, she's like, hate is a very strong word. You're going to get older and regret saying that. I'm like, what? But anyway, I don't like, I understand that sometimes this happens without it being trying to happen, but I can't stand going into a church. And again, this is me probably overthinking it. I can't stand going into a church and I can tell the entire style of the church.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. I want a church to be like, nobody can tell really what like the clothing vibe is. It should
look like,
you know what I mean?
Like Main Street USA, just everyone from everywhere. I can't stand, like, no offense on Elevation, but you can like tell their vibe, and that's cute for like the singers on stage, I guess. But it makes you feel pressured. You're probably going to disagree with me with this, but I like how like our singers, everybody's really different. You got Tanya in a giant belt buckle with boots on. I love you, Tanya, but Tanya, but good grief. And then you have Gabby's completely different, and everybody's got their different style. You may not agree with that because you're a stage guy, but to me, I have
people
no problem
walking
with it. I mean,
in,
there's obviously boundaries, but
yeah, well, like
yeah.
I don't want them to wear like crop tops, but people walking in, like you go to certain places, and like I'm not trying to badmouth Elevation, they're very talented people, but or if like when we went to Celebration, just the singers, I felt very with you being a part of the team.
Well, that's the stage. You're talking about the stage more than the congregation, though.
I understand that, but I felt pressured to dress that way because that's how they were dressing, and I just wanted to fit in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's a problem. I'm not against you, but yeah, I mean, that's a problem in itself.
That's a problem with a lot of people because
well, yeah,
that's why the entire church starts dressing the same exact way.
Yeah.
So it's not just me. Like that's the human nature. That's the sheep mentality. We all want to fit in. So you have a church that begins, I know this is totally just got off topic, but you have a church that everyone starts feeling a tiny bit of unspoken pressure that everybody kind of needs to fit into the style of the church. And like, I don't want that to happen. And that to me, that's like the modern day Pharisee where everybody's wearing the robes and the garments and this and that and this and that. And
getting mad at people wearing hoodies too much?
Am I getting mad at people? Oh. Yeah, so to me, I just feel like, and like you said Sunday, you know, the people coming in that are homeless and everything like that. And who cares if they're coming in here for an hour, you know, or two, and sitting in here because it's AC and it's really hot and they just want to sit inside a building for a little bit.
Great.
That's fine.
Just be here.
Totally fine. Like we need to say hi. You know, people with that don't want to drop their kids off in kids' church because this is their first time here and they don't want to drop their kids off because they don't really trust or know any of the kids people. You know, that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't look at them crazy. You know, maybe they have every other weekend with their kid and they want to spend as much time as they can with them. You don't know. You know what I mean? So we can't. You're looking at me really judgingly right now.
I'm literally just looking at you. It's just my face.
So, yeah. That's my answer.
I always, when I was preaching it, and my mind, even now, with the modern day Pharisees, it goes back to whenever it was, the one guy that we had blowing us up for a few days about how I was disrespecting the house of God for wearing a t-shirt and a hat and all that stuff. And I don't see any verse in the Bible that says Jesus accepted people based on their appearance or their clothing choices. And I'll say the same thing I said back then was, you know, when the woman caught in adultery was brought into the place where he was preaching at, while he was preaching, she would have been naked. And his first thing was to say, you know, you without sin cast the first stone. And that guy was freaking out saying, oh, no, she wasn't naked. Well, if you're caught in adultery, in the act of adultery, you're probably naked. It's just the adult thing.
It's the adult thing.
Well, I mean, we're not children here. If you're caught in the act, we all know what the act is. The other side of it was, I mean, obviously.
I doubt Elevation is watching our live stream, Erica, so I think I'm pretty safe.
What if.
Okay, I'm sorry. All your outfits are fire,
like,
and
hey,
I'm really
we're about
sorry.
to reach out to this place and, you know, and connect with them. And now they're like, nope.
I was just kidding. Your outfits are super fire. I love, what's the main blonde girls that's the girl's favorite? What's her name?
Tiffany.
Tiffany, you're awesome.
I
love your jean jacket. This is why I bought the jean jacket, because I like Tiffany's outfit.
What's the next question? It's just so off subject. Just kidding.
Dang, sorry, man.
But no, I mean, there's so much with the modern day Pharisee where, you know, between.
I pushed the wrong button.
Whoops.
Sorry.
Between dress and actions and things like that, and you know, like the new Christian, the people that come in and their language isn't fully cleaned up yet, so they still kind of struggle with saying things in the building, you know, and anything like that. And it's just all these people, and it's easy to fall into the mentality of, I mean, you think about it, when you start just complaining about one thing, and then it becomes easier to keep complaining, and then you just get stuck in the rut of all you do is grumble and complain, which is what happened with the Israelites and all of that. And it's like, you got to break that off of you, because, you know, obviously, like we all know, death and life is in the power of the tongue. And you got to start speaking life over situations and talking positively, instead of just always grumbling and then ending up giving the enemy a foothold in your life to come in and cause you to stumble or struggle with something else, just because you're so stuck on what was it? How can we balance the tension between pursuing holiness and welcoming sinners as Jesus did? So he obviously mingled with them and associated with them. But yeah, you had boundaries. He didn't partake, I would say, in the things that they were doing. He didn't accept their sin, but he still loved them. Like the woman at the well, and he's like, hey, you've had, you know, what was it, five husbands, and the guy you're living with now isn't even your husband. So she was obviously having an affair. He didn't judge her for it. He pointed out her sin and was like, this is wrong. And then he ends up saying, you know, like, I am he, I am God, I am the Messiah. And then she has a whole heart change and immediately runs back into the town and tells everybody about him.
Kills the fifth husband.
So it's just, there is that. You have to, and I find the more that you truly pursue holiness and truly just like a true, like, dedicated prayer life, and trying to focus on, you know, repenting of your sins and asking God to, you know, get that sin, cut that sin out of your life, and put you in the refining fire so that you grow more holy. The closer that you continue to get to God, you find that all of the stuff in the world just is less and less appealing. You know,
Jason
like
said,
the
attitude
stuff,
is huge.
The what?
Attitude is huge.
Where's that?
Right there.
Oh. Yeah, presentation is huge and attitude is huge. That was the thing. I can't remember what we were talking about earlier, but that was the whole thing with, you know, we're called to be a light in the world. And so as you're trying to disciple to people or reach people, you know, and invite them to church, they're looking for the fruit that you're bearing. So if you're sitting here and, you know, oh, my church is awesome, I want you to come to my church on Sundays, it's great, blah, 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 you know, all this good stuff. But meanwhile, the entire day at work or every time you're hanging out with them, you're sinning just as much as they are, you know, like whatever, doing drugs and just getting drunk all the time. Hey, you never know. I've seen it.
Jeez Louise.
And, you know, just living a really sinful lifestyle that looks no different, or you're cussing like a sailor, or your attitude is absolutely horrible. None of that makes it appealing to come. You know, you're offering them nothing. They just see another hypocritical Christian that hasn't had any heart change, that doesn't do anything other than say, yeah, I love Jesus, but you don't look any different than the world. So that's you have to pursue that. You have to lay those boundaries. You have to pursue, because you can still, you know, when you set up boundaries and you try to reach those lost friends that you might have been hanging out with previously, like, surely, yeah, they're going to try to tempt you to go back into that lifestyle and get you to trip up and slip. But when you keep those boundaries there and you keep pursuing holiness, that in itself is planting a seed, because they're watching you. They're seeing, like, is this guy really doing this, or is this just a phase? Is he going to be another one of those fake Christians? Because, you know, I grew up and saw all this and did all that, and I tried that Jesus stuff and blah, blah, whatever, you know, they say. And it's just, they're watching you to see, like, is this for real? Let's see what this dude does. Let's see how this dude acts. Let's see how he talks. Let's see how he thinks. And when you just continue to press in and try to be more like Jesus, that's when it starts, just your life becomes that living testimony, because, well, like, yeah, shoot, I remember how this guy was, but now look at him, and it's only been a year since then. You know, like, what does he have that I don't now? And then they start opening up and asking you, like, you know, hey, I've seen this huge change in you. You used to do this. You used to do that. You used to, you know, come out and do this and do that and do that. But now you're only doing this, and you talk about God all the time. Like, what is this? And so as you continue to press into that holiness, you'll see, like, the things of the world just don't matter anymore. You start to turn more and more away from them, and it just becomes less appealing, less attractive. And then holiness becomes what's attractive, and you just want to pursue that. And it's like, yeah, some days it's not fun, but it's like the gym. Like, the discipline of a strict diet, so you're living a healthier lifestyle, and you want to lose weight, so you go on a diet, and you have to be disciplined in your exercise. Usually the discipline is not fun, so you don't really enjoy the discipline, but what you're after is the results of that discipline.
Yeah. I remember, though, you slowly get used to it, though, the more, remember when I worked for Island Doctors, and I would take broccoli and chicken every single day for lunch, and it didn't faze me because I had been doing, and I had 2 eggs that I would, it was so gross. I tried to do it the other day. I'm like, oh, 2 eggs. Remember, I would take a coffee cup, and I would throw like a little butter in the coffee cup, and then throw my eggs, and I would cook in the microwave.
Yeah, I hated trying to clean that mug after you did that, because it was just stuck.
Sorry. But yeah, and I did that remember I ate the same thing every single day, and it didn't faze me because I was just used to living that way.
Oh, that's the same way with
But
holiness.
in the beginning it was hard, but it was the same thing every single day.
And that's the point too.
Now look at me.
Taking
eating donuts.
Going after those small steps too. It doesn't have to be giant, like, oh, I'm going to read the entire Gospel of Matthew in this week or in a couple days. Like, just start.
You can
with
if you want to,
but start with something small and just start making those consistent. I'm struggling with reading my Bible.
Amanda.
Try a chapter a day. Try a couple verses a day. Try, it's not in the original text, but luckily now, like, we have the headings with the blocks of text that break up the stories within. Mm-hmm. Just go through one of those stories, one of those little blocks of text, and then just soak on that and dwell on that and see what God will feed you just from that. It's just, you keep those small, consistent steps, and that yields great results.
So what made you decide that you're going to be really mad at me about saying this, and I'm really sorry.
You love doing things live.
Yes. Oh, sorry. What made you, and if you don't have an answer, that's fine.
I don't.
I will judge you if you don't. What made you decide? Because in the very beginning when you started preaching, you were kind of upset with the people that walk through the Bible, like...
Well, yeah.
You were kind of upset
I was thinking about that the other day, actually.
And I thought about it when you were preaching on Sunday. I'm like, gosh, feel like I should mention this to him.
No,
so
actually,
what made you change your mind or change your viewpoint on that?
Philip Anthony Mitchell, 28:19. No, because I don't know. It's funny. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, man, I used to talk a lot of crap about doing this.
You did,
and that's because
you did, and you did it.
That was, and I said it back then. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It was just personal preference, and at the time, that just wasn't my preference. Mm-hmm. But then realizing, after watching him and just soaking up his sermons that just walk through the Bible, it was and I think there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Mm-hmm. And I was obviously looking at it.
Because I like both styles.
I do. Both styles are great.
When you do the application type of thing, or what did you call it? The situational, or what? Topical. Whatever. I like when you do those, and I like when I hear those sometimes because, like yesterday was a really rough day, and Tanya sent me a sermon, and it was on leadership, but everything that he was saying, I don't remember the name of the guy.
Bobby Chandler, but I don't know.
He was wearing a hoodie.
The name of the sermon.
Yeah, it was really, really good, and it helped.
Really good.
It helps in the moment of what we were headed to go do.
Yeah.
Because everything he was saying, yes, he was talking about leadership, but it was just...
It was just speaking to you in that moment.
Yeah, it was really good. So, I do like those sermons. What? Jason? I do like those type of sermons, but I am enjoying yours. I
hope so. I
grew up on the topical sermon.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
So it's very hard, and I think a lot of us, and I'm not speaking for a lot of us, but I think a lot of people are having a hard time switching to the way you're doing it because not a lot of people do it like that.
Yeah.
So when you listen to like most sermons, it's that type of, you get that situational, and you feel really good, and you feel really better about you feel really better about what you're going through, and it's really helping. But the cool thing about your sermons is it's might not be hitting what you're going, like the verse that you're walking through, or the situation you're walking, or whatever, it might not hit, but you may need it later on.
Yeah.
And then you'll look back and you've already really dug through Jude, so you know how to come across a false prophet. You already dug through.
Yeah.
You didn't say the verse you were going to do, did you? The book?
No.
Okay. Never mind.
So, to continue with
I
that,
almost
if
said
you
it.
want to get the next question.
I already got it.
But go ahead and post it.
I did.
So,
It's number 4.
yeah, like there's
It's right
nothing
there.
wrong
Oh,
where.
it's number 4. It's what practical steps can we take to shift from being a content. I almost said content. If anyone knows, I can't read.
Oh, so you're just going straight down? That'll be easier for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but like that, like there's nothing wrong with topical preaching, and that's great.
I prefer sublingual teaching.
But
Tanya will get it.
after walking through, like after seeing, like, because 28:19, they're going through Matthew, and we walked through Jude. Well, kind of, it started with committed walking through Jehoshaphat's life in Chronicles.
Jehoshaphat. God bless you.
But then walking through Jude, and you realize at the same time, so the big thing with that is, like you just said, there's not a lot of preachers doing that. There's not a lot of churches doing that. And on one aspect, like, yeah, not a huge deal, because topical preaching, you can still, you're still preaching the Bible. There's still a lot of topics that people are dealing with, and that's great. The other side of it is there's so much just biblical illiteracy that just people haven't walked through they haven't read the entire Bible. They don't know the entire Bible. They don't know how to read the Old Testament. They don't realize the whole Old Testament points towards Jesus. Like, all the Bible points towards Jesus. The Old Testament's pointing up towards it, and then all of the New Testament is pointing back towards it. It's all, the whole book, all of it is about Jesus. And what was I saying? So they haven't gone through it. They don't know. And then, so there's just not a lot of biblical literacy, because unfortunately for a lot of people, Sunday morning is their only Bible time. And I'm not going to say the number, but I know, like, with the amount of people subscribed to our church on YouVersion, I can see the analytics of the percentage of people that open their Bible
In defense of these
daily
people.
and open it weekly. And yes,
In
you
defense.
could be like me, where you do a physical Bible. So there is that. But the numbers aren't great.
Yeah.
So there's just not a lot of consistency. So there's not a lot of biblical literacy. There's just not a lot of people, like Amanda said, the biblical literacy. So that's why it's nice to walk through and study. And the great thing about the Bible is it's the living, active Word of God. So as you walk through, all of that topical stuff ends up still coming up to the surface, because it still speaks to you no matter what. And like you just said, like, a great thing. So, okay, yeah, maybe they haven't met a false prophet yet, but now that we've walked through it, they know what to look for. And hopefully the sermon drove them towards studying more on their own and studying more about the Bible. And another thing, where I was going with all of this too, was, like, I've noticed several times I've said something in passing, and I've heard people be like, oh, like, they didn't know. So, like, Sunday, I just said in passing, as I was thinking about it, like, I think it's Matthew 18, where the book of Matthew has the parable of the lost sheep. But in his book, it's more of a pastoral application, where he's talking about the sheep that were in the church, and then they strayed, and they've kind of walked away from the church, and going after those ones that have began to walk away from the faith, basically. Whereas Luke's, which is why it's our focus, from the church, like with Luke 19:10 and using the parable of the sheep from Luke, it's because we're trying to pursue the lost. We're not, obviously we want to go after the people that leave the church because we want them to still be actively involved in a church, whether it's here or not. We don't want them to just abandon the faith. But that's the reality. Is just like I said that, I was like, this one's pastoral and this one's about seeking the lost. And I heard, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 just in my immediate area that I could hear with my own ears, like there was like, oh, like they just didn't know. And so that's something you don't really get without walking through the Bible, where you just, because it's, I hate to use the phrase, but it's kind of like a dime a dozen, where you can have topical preaching, and that's great. But at the same time, we still need, I think, now maturing and not being against walking through the Bible. We need more of that. We need more people that are just like, hey, this is the Word of God. Let's walk through it. And you learn so much about life and everything else simply by just doing that. Did you post the next one? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What practical steps can we take to shift from being a content church to a consecrated church that actively seeks the lost? What do you think?
Bro, I hate when you do this.
That's what y'all do to me every time.
No. What? There's no y'all. Your dad does that. I do not do that to you. Well, I do that to you. Sorry. But you're smarter than me, so
you do it with worse stuff. You're like, I'm going to, why does your shoes smell so bad, when you take them off?
No. I do not.
So that's something I think we kind of discussed earlier with the churches.
I think you've kind of already answered that question.
Yeah, the churches that are just
moving on to the next one,
content with coming in on a Sunday and then doing nothing. That one kind of ties in with chasing after that holiness, chasing after God, trying to live a more righteous life. Number 5 is, how does the parable of the lost sheep challenge our priorities in ministry and personal spiritual growth? I like that one. It challenges our priorities because,
I said, you wrote the sermon, of course.
Yeah, but the questions are based off the sermon, and I didn't look at these yet. So obviously, I think it challenges our priorities because a lot of churches, are focused on what they call growth, and really what it is fishing in someone else's pond.
Easy.
I won't name names, and I'm not trying to be that kind of thing, but that is the truth. There's a lot of churches that they want to, and they actively seek out trying to take members from one church into another church. And that shouldn't be the case. What you're supposed to be doing, your priority should be going outside of your walls and trying to reach the lost. That's the whole point of the Great Commission. The Great Commission is a commandment to go forth and make disciples, to go preach to all creation. That wasn't Jesus just making a cutesy and demure suggestion about going and reaching the lost. He's going to ask, with everything that he gave us, with the Holy Spirit to empower us to do miracles and signs and wonders. I mean, he said, greater works are we going to do than him. More works are we going to do than him. That's because he's not physically on earth.
And we're not going to do that with the same circle of friends.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're supposed to be doing that. Your priorities should be, who can I reach this week? Mm-hmm. Who can I pray for this week? I've got this person's on my heart, this person's on my mind. They're not coming to church. How can, at least just praying for them. And your priority needs to shift from just a Sunday morning to the rest of the week. Like the SEU song, the Monday Morning Faith. It's not about, God's not pleased with just coming in here and shouting on Sunday. Mm-hmm. He wants to know, what are you doing throughout the rest of the week?
Yeah. I mean, it just tells you that you can just do one. You can just talk to one. You can make the priority just be one person this week. It doesn't have to be your entire Facebook friends. It can just be one.
Yeah.
Like, and to me, that's what I thought when I read that, was just the priority in ministry can just be one. Whoa. What is that? Can just be one. It doesn't have to be 10. So I don't know. That's just what I immediately thought when I read that.
And I do want to say, with Tanya's comment, it's not about the numbers, it's about the one. Yes and no.
Ooh, he's challenging you, Tanya?
No,
What are you
because
gonna do about that?
Well, it's not much of a challenge. It's more of a clarification, because there's a twofold. It's a weird paradoxical kind of mentality where churches shouldn't be all about the numbers, but they should be all about the numbers. And
Like
you
you
have
said, nothing that is alive is.
yeah. And so
or nothing
you're
that
not.
is-
You
you know what I'm
shouldn't
saying.
be. Your priority. It's weird because it shouldn't be all about the numbers in the sense of I'm going to. Well, so this is the churches. It's all about the numbers in the sense of they're gonna not speak about sin. They're not going to call out sin. They're going to water down the gospel. They're going to twist the gospel simply in order to fill the seats. That's being all about the numbers. Their whole focus is how many numbers can we get? So that's not the mentality we should have, but we should be all about the numbers in the sense of we're chasing after the one. Well, obviously there's a lot more than one. The whole world is the one. That's great. We've got a whole building full of people that are already saved. That's the whole point of going after the one. So that's why we're all about those numbers. We're all about trying to reach the lost, not trying to get people from other churches that are already saved. If they want to come here because they like the preaching and it's a little bit more biblical and
Yeah,
it's a little
that's
bit more
fine.
meaty, that's great. Cool. You're not who we're trying to reach.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here, I'm glad for everyone that comes, but we're trying to reach the lost. That's the whole point of those priorities. So yeah, like you're not all about the numbers in trying to keep the numbers, trying to please everyone, but you're all about the numbers in the sense of we're going after the numbers because Jesus cared to go after those people. That's what I'm trying to say when it's not about the numbers, but it is about the numbers. It's a weird paradox. Number six is, in what ways might we be hoarding our faith instead of sharing it? And how can we overcome this tendency? That's
exactly rolls right into what we were just talking about.
Exactly.
It's just making it a club, making it our group of friends, making it our clique, and being comfortable in that. I mean, that's just it. You have to start getting comfortable. I told Tanya that we had to start getting comfortable with being very uncomfortable. The thing with me yesterday, I was very uncomfortable because it was the unknown. I didn't understand the outcome of what it would be. I like to know, is this situation I'm walking into is safe? Is it going to be 72 degrees? Is there going to be 4 people there, or is there going to be 10 people there? Like, I have to know. That's why I do Google Map and look at the front of the restaurant before we go. I have to know, what does it look like inside? I'm looking at Google Images, look inside the building. I have to know the situation is safe and secure before I walk into it. You know what I mean? And
I am not that way.
No, you're like, yeah, sure, let's go. Okay, do we need to bring a concealed weapon? Do we need should I wear my Converse? Should I wear boots? What are we doing? So I like to know all the details because I like to make sure that I'm going into a situation where I'm going to be safe and I'm going to come out alive. You do not care. So
to live as Christ, to die as
to
gain.
start. Oh my goodness, we need to start being, comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that means, where did the question go? The hoarding of faith. It's very comfortable to just read the Bible every single morning, do our devotional, know that we're saved, know that we're going to heaven, know that our kids are going to get heaven, know that our spouse is going to heaven,
But like
know
you
that
said,
our friends
it's
are going to
more
heaven.
to
But
it than just getting to heaven.
right, if we stop at that is hoarding it. You get your friends all, okay, great. We need to start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. #.
No, Jesus, nowhere in the Bible says, hey, you're called to live a comfortable life. That comes in eternity if you choose to go to the right place. And, like that, you don't just end up in heaven and you don't just end up in hell. The Bible says that we're all without excuse because God is revealed through just creation. But that's kind of what we were just talking about with, we hoard our faith when we just keep it within the walls on Sunday mornings because we're too scared to share our testimony and even something on that, instead of sharing it, we're scared of our testimony because we think it's not good enough or grand enough or big enough or great enough.
Or it's embarrassing.
Or it's embarrassing. And there's
Like,
nothing embarrassing about it. When you consider it embarrassing, you're still allowing Satan to hold the past over your head. So whether you were a drug-addicted prostitute that lost your kids, I mean, that's a really, like, a bad situation.
Yeah.
But when you come out of that and you're living a godly lifestyle and you're completely clean, and maybe you didn't get your kids back, I don't know, just whatever the situation is, but you were in a really just dark place, like, that's really bad, and yeah, that could be embarrassing. But when you come out of that, and God brings you out of that, and he brings you through it, and then you grow as a person, and you grow in your faith, and you've given your life to Jesus, and you're following Jesus, and you're living a much healthier, holier lifestyle, and you own that part of your past to where you can go out and say, this is the kind of person that I was, and God saved me from that. You're owning that. You're owning not only your sin, but also owning your testimony. You're owning the gift of salvation that God gave to you. And Satan can't use it over your head anymore because it doesn't bother you anymore. And it's not, exactly, he didn't give you a spirit of shame, of fear, or nothing. So like that, like, you just have to, you got to own that stuff, because the minute you own it and you're like, yeah, this is what I did, this is what, like anything in life, when you lie, it just gets you into more problems. But when you tell the truth, like, yeah, there might be a little bit of trouble up front, but the outcome of telling the truth and sticking to the truth is you live a much better life, and people will honor that, they'll respect you more. And so, like, if somebody might judge you, but...
Yeah, like, I hope I'm not saying too much, but, like, when we first, started dating and stuff, you had the tendency to, even over the dumbest things.
Yeah.
It was just, I'd ask you a question, and you would white lie about it because you didn't want the conflict.
Yep.
And I'm the type of person where, I mean, like, we would fight so much about that, because I'm like, just tell me. Like, I can already sense when I know you're lying. Like, us women, we're like, I already know the answer to this question. But it was just, that was a big issue, and you were the quiet, reserved type, and I was more of
I'm not reserved? I think I'm reserved.
Okay. Y'all put it in the comments if you think he's reserved or not.
All right, we'll see you next week.
All right, so it's just, you didn't want the conflict. You didn't want to deal with me being mad at you. But it would end up being a week-long drag out, because I would not stop until you admitted. Like, remember, like, I would not stop. I was not just like, okay, he's lying to me. I was hard pressed. Like, I was not going to stop until you came clean.
You're not stubborn at all.
And we didn't know. I'm the sweetest.
I know. Don't lie.
So no, it's like that type of thing. It's just, it just drags it out, man. Just
there's literally no
rip
benefit.
the Band-Aid off.
There's no benefit.
Rip the Band-Aid off. I said it. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, and then it's like that. Like, I'm mad at you for a couple minutes because I don't ever hold grudges. And then, then it's good. Then we're like having a great day.
Just that fast. It just happens that fast. No.
All right, so I'm going to do, if you're done with that, I'm going to do one last question because it's getting kind of late and I want to get back to the girls because Riley's grumpy today.
Chili.
So I'm going to do the last question. I think this one, I kind of skipped a couple. I think this is a great one to land on, and it's number 7. Let me post it. There you go. So what does it mean to truly pursue?
What does it mean to truly pursue, proclaim, and prepare in the context of our daily lives and relationships? Take it away.
Oh.
So I think this ties back into...
First off, what made you jump on that? As that was like, that was
what?
it. Like, that was it. That's your...
I prayed a lot. God gave it to me. No, God gave it to me. I don't know how else to. It's not like something I stumbled on. I just felt uneasy about what I had for the vision, if you will. It didn't feel right. It didn't sit right. And then I think just growing and maturing over the last year or so or whatever, I was kind of just like, this isn't right. So I started just really praying about it. God, what should I do? What should the church be? Show me what the church is. And I don't remember, I don't remember how I came across that or how it just, I don't remember.
Because I remember you spent months and months and months.
I took it very seriously.
And months, and you were like, I think I have it, but I don't know. And did you have it that whole time?
No. So I should have kept it. I had a file in my Evernote that was like all of the ones
that you thought of,
that I thought of or felt. Mm-hmm. And then and I don't remember how it came. It was obviously it was just God giving it to me. But pursue, proclaim, and prepare came. And like as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is it. Yeah. This is the one. But I didn't want to jump the gun.
Yeah.
So I had it written down, and it was like, okay, like I really think this is it, but I'm going to stay praying about it. So I did, and I never got moved away from that.
And it was cool because it just so happened to fall upon when you finally, because I remember you're like, I think I got it. It was like a couple weeks before the end of December, right?
Well, no, like I had it for sure. I think a little bit before December or so, but I was still praying about it and what to do. What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
You said it was cool that it fell on something?
Like fell right before the first of the year.
Yeah.
2025, and it being,
I knew that I wanted to. Well, I knew like we were gonna go on vacation, and so.
No, we went on a winter wonderland.
Yeah. So I knew like we were gonna miss the last one. And I was like, I want to start the year off with this. I want to bring the new. Like I was dying to do it before I did it, but it was like it needed to be the right time. And I think
it was great timing.
Excuse me. God shifted everything because December was just crazy with the way that everything worked out and like the messages and all this stuff, and then one of our vacations getting messed up, and so it was just like I knew like I was dying to bring it. And then it was just like the timing wasn't right. And then the way everything fell, it was like, okay, the first of the year, the first message of the year. And I think it was phenomenal to finally just unload that. But then on the same time, like, this is it. And this is the first message of the year. And like, here's the new identity of the church. And so it's like, it's almost like, hey, not only is this the start of the year, it's like kind of like the fresh start of the church. And we're going to build the foundation on all of that. But I had so much, and even just like with the scripture, until that finally came, and it was just this long process of seeking it out, just truly seeking it out. What is the vision supposed to be? What is this? What is our statement? What is the church meant? What is this church meant to be? And then what scripture speaks that? What scripture speaks who we are as Family Church? And then when it came, and then I literally have it, it's still my phone background for the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. Like it became just glaringly obvious. And then, I had that hoodie that I had you make, and I was dying to wear that because it was really cool.
It was really cool.
So what does it mean in the context of our daily lives? I think it ties back into earlier about seeking that holiness, pursuing holiness, and welcoming those sinners, because that's the whole point. We're going to pursue God. You pursue God first. You chase after God with all you have. You seek first the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God. Everything else gets added to you. So that's our main goal, obviously, is to seek God first. The second goal is from the Great Commission. It's going out and making disciples. It's Luke 19:10. The Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. That was Jesus's whole goal. Obviously, was to establish his kingdom, but that's the key verse, is that he came to seek and to save the lost, which is everyone that didn't have him, that didn't know him. So he came and he inaugurated the kingdom. So we're going to pursue God. We're going to pursue the lost. As you pursue God and you press in and you become more holy, you'll find that, where's the question?
Go down. Right there. Next one.
This one. Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll find that as you pursue him, it will lead you for a heart for the lost.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find that you're going to, I'm wrapping it up.
No, you're fine.
You got something to say?
No?
You'll find that you'll get that heart for the lost, and what grieves him will grieve you. And so you'll begin to want to pursue the lost. And that will lead you to proclaiming his word, because you'll have that righteous indignation within you. You'll have that holy fire burning within you about God's word being that fire shut up in your bones where you can't help but proclaim it. And I see it in you with you making more posts and more statements and sharing things more. The more you press in towards God, even if it's just little steps, not saying you're making little steps, but even if it's just those little consistent steps, you begin you get that word stuck inside of you, and then that causes you, it just bubbles up. You can't help because you get so passionate. And then preparing, obviously, when Jesus comes back, and I've said it before, we all shout about Jesus coming back because we are ready to go to heaven. Everybody's looking forward to heaven. We're all looking forward to that.
Where we won't be married. It's fine.
It won't matter.
Glad you're rushing to get there, so you're not married anymore.
No, that's
It's
not
fine.
what I said.
It's fine. It's fine. Move
But
along.
as we're all clapping over the coming back of Jesus. So all of our tears are wiped away. Depression is gone. Brokenness is gone. Sin is gone. We'll see our loved ones again. We always forget that when he comes back, he's expecting to find us doing something.
Yeah.
And I think that's something the church really needs to be reminded of,
Yeah.
and kind of beat over the head with. And it's just something that a lot of people need to understand is, yeah, that's great. Jesus is coming back. He's expecting to find you doing something. There's a lot of parables about that. He's expecting to see you doing something.
Hint, hint.
Yeah, he's expecting to see you serving. He's expecting to see you giving to the church. He's expecting to see you stewarding what he has entrusted you with, whether that's your finances or your gifts or whatever. He gave you all you have, everything you have, for a purpose. And
I can't wrap my head around, and it's the weirdest thing. And I don't understand. Like with our tithing, when did we start? Did we start tithing when we both were working?
I don't remember.
I can't remember, but we make significant. I'm talking like significantly less. Significantly, like. We used to have to pay on our taxes. Now we're like, yeah, we get a tax return, yay! You know what I mean? Like we had to pay.
Yeah, that was
taxes because we made so much, and it's like now we do not. But that's okay, and it's it's like nothing's going to compare to the sacrifice of him dying on the cross. Like I can live without. All that stuff.
But you see, all the needs are met.
And it's crazy. So like as soon as we started tithing, I was losing my mind, and I'm like, as I'm hitting the button, and I'm like, we're kind of like paying back our paycheck. Like this doesn't make sense. And
just trusting God, showing him that.
And it's crazy. Like it's just been just like that. We've been doing that every single week. And man, it's crazy. I don't know if like there's just like magic money that just floats back to our account. I don't know, but that's what happens in my brain. I'm like, it's just magically floating back in. I don't know, but like we haven't. Remember the issues that we were having? Like we couldn't make. Our bills haven't changed.
Yeah.
But we were having issues when I would be like super stressed out. Like we weren't. I was freaking out because like bills were getting behind.
I was like, hey, we need to tithe. And you're like, then we're gonna have less. I'm like, no, you just trust me.
Yeah, and like it has never happened since. And I think the one or two times where it might have happened, that's when we get the check in the mail from your school, which I'm so glad you're back in school because we'll get those checks again. But
that's how it works.
Sorry, guys, I'm still the same. Just kidding. So yeah, it's crazy. Like it's just like that. Like you sit there and you trust him in that sense, and it's really scary and it's really crazy, especially single moms, where you don't have that double income in your house. It's terrifying. but he's not going to give you any more until you can handle what you have now. And a part of handling what you have now is doing what he ordered you to do, which is tithe.
Being a good steward.
Yeah.
You look at the parable of the talents.
Yeah.
And he gave this guy this much, this guy this much, and this guy this much. And one guy just buried it because he was too scared to do anything with it.
Yeah.
God, when Jesus comes back, he is expecting to find you doing something and seeing how you
hope I'm not at Cadillac when Jesus. You probably will, because you never leave, because we have to go pull you out of work.
But and two, that was oh man, what was I going with?
But yeah, so just I don't know. To me, that's just, even if it's not a physical blessing where, I hope he does, but even if it's not a physical blessing where he gives you more because you're handling what you have now well, the blessing is our bills are getting paid, even though we're making so much less. So to me, that is a physical blessing. Like, I don't know how that's happening, but it is. Like, there's no...
That's God.
That doesn't make sense to me. So I'm like, there's magic money floating.
That was the thing too. I was saying, like, being a good steward, and that was the thing too, where I ended. I think it was at the altar call, and we can end with this, since it was that.
Oh, can we? Okay. Fine. I guess we're.
But the whole thing of when we stand before God and face judgment, and He's going to say, hopefully, well done, good and faithful servant, or is there the chance that he might look at you and be like, there was so much more I wanted you to do? Like when Marcus said something around that during our workshop for the worship team, I wrote that down immediately, because I was like, man, that's so true. Like, how many people has God put in your life for you to reach? And he's waiting for you to just simply say something, because like all you have to do is you just plant the seed. That's it. You just plant the seed, and God will do the rest. But how many people has he placed in your life that you're just still holding on to your seeds, and you're expecting a harvest in some way like that, like with just something as simple as tithing? Like, he put you in this position, and he gave you the money that you already have, and all you got to do is plant the seed, but you're holding on to the seed because you think that's going to get you more stuff, because you're going to have more money if you hold on to it. And in reality, it's like you're just showing him you don't trust him at all, because you're hoarding it.
Ouch, bro.
And that's just the reality of the situation. So
and that's the thing too. Like, it doesn't, obviously you I'm not saying don't tithe, but tithing. Another way is blessing is, you see your friend, needing something financially, help them out. Like, if you got it, help them.
Yeah.
And it's just that type of thing. Like, if you've got it, give it to them. And you're not taking it with you. And I'm not saying just go frivolously spend, but helping someone out when they need help is not frivolous.
No.
Tithing to the church is not frivolous. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. And be careful who you tithe to.
Frivolous is my bills aren't getting paid, and I should help the church out, but I'm gonna go buy season tickets on my credit card to the Jacksonville Jaguars and skip church a whole bunch.
That was
and
awful.
Put my family.
Do you know this?
No, I was just saying. It's
awesome. Whoa.
Like putting yourself in debt to go do stupid things that have no bearing and no weight. Like, not
which
saying
I've done before. Like, I have done that type of thing before, and it just doesn't. The reason why we're trying to climb out of our credit card debt is we did that in our 20s. It was like, we had no money, but let's go on this cruise, and we put on the credit card. Guess what? We're still playing on the cruise that we took 10 years ago. So it's just like that. I don't know how to land that thought.
Great. Well, okay. On that, I'm ready to go eat the chili that you made.
So takeaway is come on Sundays, bring a friend, get involved with something, get involved with the family room, get involved with the sermon discussion group. They're really great. I know it sounds scary. Trust me, I didn't want to lead one, but here I am. Get involved with a small group.
I've got a really easy thing to get involved and to help grow the gospel. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, now everybody wants to hear what you got to say, so go ahead, every boy.
That's what I've said before.
Share the YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know.
Go on the the archived YouTube videos, not these live streams. I mean, yeah, that kind
But
of
I'm
helps.
talking for people's personal growth.
Well,
like,
yeah, that's
personal growth time.
But to help
Personal
share
growth
the
time.
gospel, if we had 40 people on every video that would go and just make some comments and then let the video play, leave it on your living room TV playing through the playlist in the middle of the night with the sound off.
I forget to do that a lot, and I'm the one literally putting them out
make
there.
sure you have that notification bell on, so when it pops up, you just boom and hit it.
Gosh.
And then
anyways,
drop a comment. And I'm just saying,
okay. But no,
it's free.
We've got the 8-week study coming up.
Yep.
Women, February 11th. Men, February 11th. I just haven't dropped the women's study yet. I'm sure it'll be really, really good. Your mom's working on that. We're going to have events coming up. Invite your friends to the events. We've got really cool stuff coming from the Jacksonville Connections coming. This year, we're really working on small groups. Ashley, you're a dork. We're really working on small groups. Get involved with small group. I will be completely transparent. I hate small groups. Like I can't stand small groups because I don't like being forced to get in a group of like women I don't know, and then I'm supposed to share, and then I feel the extra pressure because I'm married to you, and I'm supposed to come in and be like, and spit out like this awesome thing.
Get that mega church pastor, or that
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Stereotypical
So I'm really going to try this year. Really going to try this year to be a part of that. I'm already really stretching myself doing this discussion group because I already forgot which day I do it, obviously. So I'm really working with that. So like if I can get out of my comfort zone, like you guys can get out of your comfort zone and at least like partake in a sermon discussion.
You've grown tremendously over the last year.
I'm trying to lose weight. Okay, you don't have to tell everybody. Really jump in. It does help. Definitely, I want to motivate people to find a equally yoked friend, and really equally yoked friend, and stay in conversation with them. One that's going to encourage you to do the right thing. That helps with a lot of situations.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, sorry about my alarm. I'm the queen of alarms. My bad. I want to encourage people to really jump into a serving team. We have help. We have needs all across the board, mainly in Voyager Kids. One Sunday a month, one Sunday every other month would help Brooke out tremendously. We're really trying to get your mom in the room to be here with your dad, and just let her hit cruise control. And not have to worry about all that. I know she's going to say no, but yes, we want you to take a break. And so join a serve team. Amanda and Mitch just started serving with Voyager Kids. We appreciate them so much. Really jump in somewhere. We're finally have not enough, but we finally have camera operators where I'm not having, Ashley doesn't have to do camera 2 every single Sunday. I got stuff to say. Yeah, shocker, Tanya. You got stuff to say. And then, keep praying about the land. I don't know who all saw my post about the land. And I added the things about the school. We've got so much that we have ideas for that property. Obviously, first and foremost is we want to get the church out there.
Yep. And that's going to take...
I'm not going to say get out of this building in a bad way, but really shift over there. We'll no longer we're not trying to do 2 locations. We're just doing the 1 location.
Yet.
And, bro, Erica, I just said I have a hard time getting in a group of females that I don't know, bro. That's where I'm at. I'm not there. Also, Thursday is music practice. And we're trying to shift out there, so really be praying for the building, praying for the plans for that. We're going to get the building up, and then we're just going to start tacking on all the other stuff. We're really trying to reach for community. We have a lot of ideas that we want to do for the kids in the community. I said something about St. Johns County's blowing up with houses. People have mixed feelings about that. I personally really don't want a bunch of houses out here. You don't mind the growth. I can't stand it, but the lack of things for the people to do in St. Johns County is deafening. We want to kind of combat that, and while there's going to be growth of a lot of houses, we want to have something for people to do with their kids that are going to where it's going to be a church environment. So, yeah, and the school thing too. We have a lot of plans with the school stuff. It may not happen this year, may not happen next year, but we're really determined to make it happen. And I hate to say it, we can't make it happen on our paychecks.
Can't make it happen on our own.
So give if you can regularly. It's not going to us, it's going to the building, it's going to keeping the lights on.
It's going to a lot of outreach.
It's going to outreach. With the stuff going out there, obviously, we really want to keep in touch with the homeless. We want to keep in touch with the people that need regular groceries. We can't grow any of that without help. So it's a really awkward thing to talk about, but it has to be talked about. So, just really keep that in mind. We do have a lot of plans, and I don't like to spill them all because we can't make them happen. I don't want people to say, well, you said you were going to do this and you said you were going to do that. And it's like, okay, well, the county won't let us put a water slide out there, so I'm sorry.
Oh, Lord.
I'm just kidding. A water slide is not in the plans.
Now you're getting on.
Maybe. Now I want a water slide. No. So join a serve team once a month, once every other month. We don't care. Just help out. Where your kids really needs help. Start giving. Sorry, I got to say it. If I'm doing it, you do it. Really be praying for the property and join a group somewhere, anywhere.
Help us on our social media so it doesn't just stay a dead ghost land.
Dead ghost land.
That's how it looks.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No.
It does.
Okay.
With that, Sunday morning, 9:45. I'm not saying 10 anymore. We start at 10, but you should be here at 9:45.
Jeez Louise.
We shouldn't be coming in 20 minutes late. Then you're missing worship, which means you're missing the best part because we were created for worship, not created for preaching. Preaching is because of sin. Worship is because of God. So come early, get in here, invite a friend. We'll see you then. Sunday, we're going to be beginning a long journey through the gospel. You'll find out which one
come on.
when you get here.
Can I say what it rhymes with?
No, that's dumb. Give it away.
I can't say what it rhymes with?
No.
We don't give a little reward for the people that want to hang out with us on Wednesdays? You're going to give them a little schnookus? A little bit?
They hang out with us on Wednesday?
Yeah.
By the time I close this out, I won't play it. The only thing I will say is...
It rhymes with...
You don't need to rhyme. It ties into things we have recently learned, very recently learned. So we'll go with that. It's only a few more days there, Kelsey. I know you're terrible with waiting for surprises, but...
You're not going to give them a heads up?
I just did.
I'm trying to fight for you guys.
I just did. We'll see you Sunday at 10. We love you. Goodbye.
Whatever.
Have a good night.
Just know that I fought for you, people. I fought for the people. This mean guy that yells all the time. I'm just kidding. Don't look at me like that. You can say it?
Has 4 letters.
Oh.
That narrows it down to 2. That narrows it down to 3. Good enough.
And it starts with?
That's it. Good night. We'll see you on Sunday. Come early. Goodbye.
Can I say it?
Hey, I hope that message spoke to you today. I want to say thank you to everybody who is involved at Family Church and those who help support this ministry. If you would like to get more involved, you can click the link in the description or head to our website, familychurch.social. We would love to connect with you, and you can find all of our social media platforms on our website. Also, if this message spoke to you in any way today and you liked it, consider sharing it on your social media in any way that you would like so that we can help reach those far from God and return them to the arms of the Father. We want to see God work through you. We love you. Thanks again for listening. God bless you.